Today in the crypto space, we see the market pulling back ever so slightly. It could be the beginning of a further downtrend. Bitcoin right around 92,100, down approximately 1%. Ethereum still holding very steadily right around 3,100, while the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, some of them coming down just a bit. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, guys, I want to talk about Chainlink, a staple, a go-to, a bullish project that everybody should be considering at the current moment. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what we got going on here, because I do see a bit of negativity. We do see the total market cap down approximately 1%. The good news is that the trading volume is also coming down. So there's not a lot of participation in this downtrend, which means that it could be, a very short-term dip unless things start to get really critical and we start to see fear in the market, right? I'm just going to quickly show you some of these fractals here on the 1 hour. Bitcoin fractal, as you can see, is not looking the greatest, guys. It does look like a rollover is ready to happen, Bart Simpson style, maybe coming back down. Remember, this is a 1 hour time frame, so it's going to be a short-term thing that we're talking about. Same thing with ETH. XRP is already rolling over, almost like a leading indicator, showing you exactly might happen to Bitcoin, right? More riskier assets, and people that have the weak hands, the weak hands, those lettuce hands, essentially sell off a lot sooner, right? We see a 4.2% dip here on XRP. What else do we got here? A few little dips here and there, a little bit of red, a few more than others, so a bit of stability. Hyperliquid also rolling over, guys. Prepare for a bit of a dip, I'm saying. Be prepared, guys. If we're gonna come down, remember tomorrow's already Friday, so Friday means sell off usually. Order books are thin. They're already getting thin. As you can see, that volume is coming down. So we could get a bit of red throughout the weekend. Typically, weekends are red and stale and pretty not very great conditions for trading anyway. So prepare, guys. Prepare. People sell off their positions before the weekend. That's usually why we get a bit of a dip on Friday and so on. And it looks like it's coming in a bit early here. What else do we got here? You can tell, look at these fractals, guys, like Litecoin rolling over like that. Even AVAX, 4.2% to the downside. HBAR flopping down 4%. Guys, we're getting dips. I just want you to look at this. Even World Liberty Financial, this rounded top scenario. Guys, I'm a bottoms guy. You guys know I like those rounded bottoms. The bigger, the better. However, guys, when we see, rounded tops like this, we got to do something about it. As you can see, that's a clear distribution. And not a good look. Uniswap following suit. We got a lot. Even Solana today. Today on the Discord, I got into a Solana short. We're talking about the structure. Was talking about the setup. I was talking about the confirmation high, the lower high. And guess what? Guys, it came to fruition. We're rolling over. And as you can see, those are the opportunities. When you see proper market structure shifting to the downside or even to the upside, you got to make a decision, right? Going against the data that is given to you on a chart usually doesn't work out very well. You got to kind of like, pick your spot. Look, wrap Solana. Okay, we can kind of see that Solana right now is ready to fall, guys. If it falls, all good. I have my short ready to go, trying to hedge. We got Ondo, not looking good either. I'll be buying the dip on Ondo regardless. That's an interesting project, of course, for me. And many others, as you can see, looking a little bit sloppy here. Just note that the market tends to want to make people feel like we're rolling over and then maybe fake us out. All of this is very possible. The only thing is that we have these conditions. Tomorrow's Friday, like I said. Ethereum, Bitcoin looking a little sloppy. We've already ran up pretty good. A nice bullish back test would be great. Come down, form a structure, let people take profit, shake weekends, and let's pump and start going again to the upside. That would be ideal, wouldn't it not? All right, guys. What else do we got here? We got good projects, but some of them are just rolling over. VeChain, Filecoin, these are OGs, also rolling over. It is what it is, guys. Be prepared. All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about Chainlink, guys. We'll focus on Chainlink a little bit. I think it's an OG. Obviously, it is an OG. It's not that I think it is an OG, and it is a staple. It is the bread and butter here of crypto land, smart contract scenario, right? The main oracle that has been existing, that has been, dependable, and of course, a lot of these smart contract platforms, including Ethereum, of course, has been dependent on Chainlink significantly as the data feed, as the main oracle, making what Ethereum does best, right? DeFi. It is what it is. Now, as we come down here, you see it is a large cap, guys. It's almost $10 billion market cap, huge, right? For this space, let's say, right? Knowing that there's slightly under $2 to $3 trillion, right? So it has a good share of it, a decent one. Fully diluted is 14. I think it's, in my opinion, has a lot more opportunity here. It might have a bit of competition this cycle around. Obviously, we have some other projects that are being within the narrative. We have the total supply and the max supply, and doing pretty good. Circulating and total supply, there's a bit of a gap there between the two, meaning that there's going to be some tokens that are going to enter circulation as rewards and such. So just understand that that risk of dilution still exists, but as long as it's slow and steady distribution and emissions, we should be okay here. Obviously, take a look at those tokenomics. A project like Chainlink that's been around for a while generally has their tokenomics in check, so pretty good there. All right, guys, let's see what they got going on here on their X. Chainlink link everything. Essentially, that's what it does. It links other chains together and provides data feed oracle solutions to these smart contract platforms. And they have 1.3 million followers, which is great, obviously massive, right? And then they got some good posts. Their pinned post should be the most bullish. What is Chainlink? Of course, that's bullish. You want to know, right? 27 trillion plus total value enabled, 100 billion plus transaction value secured, 2,500 plus projects in the Chainlink ecosystem. You have to understand, like, Chainlink in itself, based on its agnostic approach, right, is going to have a lot of ecosystem integration. So by default, it's going to have a big ecosystem, or access to a big ecosystem, adopting the ecosystem of other chains. So it's pretty interesting from that fact, right? Let's see what else they got. Base Solana Bridge is live. Okay, secured by Chainlink, CCIP alongside Coinbase. The bridge unlocks new cross-chain experiences, right? That's great. Base meets Solana, something more, so you can see. So having that interoperability between Base and EVM compatible chain with Solana, obviously Base being, hot topic lately, and Solana being here and doing its thing and grinding away during a bear market, bull market, and all the volatility in between. And having Chainlink there, bridging those two together, is something bullish. Like, we got a lot of good things here, obviously. Get to know the teams of Chainlink, so projects being built and so on, all the teams involved. Polygon, what do we got here? 1 million plus link, new chain reserve milestone. So they got some good data. They got some good numbers, good marketing. I like their dedication here to their socials. Link it all together. We got cash, collectibles, artwork, equities, derivatives, real estate. All the ways we can tokenize what we do in life. It's gonna pass through Chainlink. So this is good and pretty good, guys. We got lots of good stuff. I would highly suggest and recommend that you go check them out on the socials, go mingle with the community, and see what they got to offer. All right, guys. I know you're to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the Chainlink chart, because in the last little while, you got to admit, this market has been giving us beatings. But the question is, are the beatings over, or should we prepare for further continuations to the downside? Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. So, guys, you know that I'm a big believer in market structure. I'm a big believer in looking for liquidity pools, meaning pockets of liquidity, where capital does lie. And as I'm speaking, I'm going to just kind of clean up this chart. Okay, so I like to keep all my charts very well documented, so I can keep myself accountable. But sometimes we need cleanup, we need housekeeping, because then things get cluttered up. I'm gonna remove one of these because I don't need two. I don't need this line anymore. I don't need this. This was the breakout zone where, you know, risk management needed to be considered out of this range. And just keep in mind, the reason why I keep this very highlighted is because that's a very important level. Like, we got to be clear, like, we're at a good zone right now because of market structure. We're at range lows pretty much. Like, there's a debate on whether we could come down a bit lower, which is obviously something that we need to consider. You know, coming through this imbalance and hunting liquidity on these wicks, you can see I can even, you know, arrange these wicks in a better way because I just slapped that in right into here. Beautiful little trend line we got going on here. Bottoms, 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 respecting wicks, maybe even excluding the October 10th, you know, failure that we had. But it is what it is. Okay, I'm not the one to, you know, nickel and dime for perfect trend lines. Trend lines for me are fugazis anyway. It's the bottoms, it's the levels of where we expect liquidity to be at. And there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that there's lingering liquidity here, okay, hanging out here. Okay, people that are interested in going long, and those longs, those bullish bids might come down and get filled, right? And those picking up of bullish bids that is required, and the only reason why it is required is so that we can make a higher high. We've attempted to make a higher high. There weren't enough bulls to actually break through the sell pressure here, right? There was sell volume, sell wall, okay? And the bulls try to break through, and unfortunately there wasn't enough bulls. What really was, there was enough people selling, and those sellers are basically individuals that caused the price to come down eventually. And then coming down on the reverse, you know, the market tends to want to say, all right, since we weren't able to break through on this uptrend, well, what do we need to actually break through? We actually need more bulls. We need more bullish individuals that are buying Chainlink. And then you start to ask yourself on this chart, where are those individuals? Well, smart money, people that are looking for great entries, are going to be looking for the range lows, are going to be looking for where the liquidity is at, where the last impulsive moves are. And a lot of the times, these orders at these levels don't get filled, and they're just lingering orders from the past, right? People that want to DCA at these horizontal levels. So we're there. We're pretty much at a zone where we can hunt horizontal liquidity on this horizontal trend line liquidity. And if you follow me for the last little while, I've become accustomed to expecting the market to hunt trendline liquidity. So what does that mean? That means for me in the immediate short term is that if we don't hold above $12 and we don't stay here, guys, we're going to come down and hunt this liquidity. There's no doubt in my mind. Okay. And then the target for me is right around 10, maybe even lower, guys. The truth is that we can't fall below $8. And the real truth, the real truth, guys, there's real truth, and then there's exponential real truth, is that this is max pain. And whoever denies it is in denial. Right? This is max pain. And the reason why I say that is because you can see the sideways accumulation right into here for 500 days, guys. Do you remember these days we went sideways for how long? Let's quickly measure it. 536 days. Craziness, right? We went sideways planking accumulation, and that's where I accumulated. So it tells you that if there was going to be a painful zone for the market to come, it's going to be here at these levels. There's going to be liquidity released because people are going to capitulate, right? We're going to get some volume in there, and there's going to be orders down here for sure that are going to build, right? There's going to be some orders that are going to say, you know what, maybe we'll come down, we'll sweep these bottoms, I'll buy the dip, I'll buy here, buy here, buy here. That's all fine. But level to level, guys, at this current moment, I am still curious to see how Chainlink behaves above $13. $13 for me at this current moment is a level of which is very interesting. It's respected it in the past. We used it as horizontal support in the past. I know you're looking at these wicks and say, no, it didn't. It actually came down. Well, guys, that was a complete swing failure, right? It came down for a move and didn't make a lower low. In fact, it was also a failed breakdown. It came back up after an accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to the upside. And not only did it happen once, but it kind of did it again here. Okay, so I don't look at this a wick or this push to the downside as a bottom. This for me is the bottom. The real bottom of which market makers, or sorry, as market accumulators, were looking to really accumulate and expect a proper reversal to the upside. That was the impulse. Now, guys, we could get more manipulation. One can consider this manipulation also, but as long as we're above the $13 or $12.95, guys, we're still good. As soon as we start breaking below and start making a continuation to the downtrend, guys, again, we're hunting trend line liquidity. And until then, the profit, the point of interest for me is $8. Guys, it is what it is. I don't trust trying to time, especially when you start to see all these little bottoms here being built. Which one do you trust? Which one is the actual bottom? Who cares, guys? Who cares? Don't try to be, a hero here. Doesn't matter which one is the actual bottom. What matters most is that we see the bullish reaction anywhere here. It could be off of these bottoms, it could be off of these bottoms. Whatever happens, show me a structure. Give me a structure of which I can put a stop loss and I'll take the shot. If it pumps and it fails, I'll break out. I'll stop myself out at break even. No problem. Right? I'll take the chance. Right? We have to take chances as long as the risk to reward ratio is in your favor. The ultimate level where things get hectic is right into this order block, into this range where we can see lots of market participation, point of control, massive amount of volume, and a massive amount of trapped liquidity up in there. People going short. Maybe I'm assuming people that went short into here already got liquidated in my book, or capitulated on this pump, right? It is what it is. Ultimately, this is max pain zone. That's what I want to classify it as. If the market's going to pull the price to any level, it's going to be where the most pain is at. And that's usually what happens. So short term, wait for to see some structure here, guys. If Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the market starts to recover, the total market cap, we don't need to come lower, right? It's not necessary, right? The need is to start seeing more participation in this space that is bringing fresh capital. That could happen any moment, right? All it requires is a catalyst. Now, if you're going to rely on the capital that currently exists in this space, yes, you're going to look for where the liquidity zones are. And again, trend line, trend line, trend line, but the majority of it is down here, in my opinion. So it is what it is, guys. Right now, I would be looking at this level. If you're looking for a trade or looking for a setup, I would be looking at the 4-hour. I would be dropping right into this level. And like I mentioned here, I need to see some sort of reaction. Well, guess what, guys? If I push this down ever so slightly and I start showing you what I'm looking at, even like right into here, you can kind of see this is what I mean. We need a bounce and a break of the high. We achieved it. That's pretty good in the short term. You can see that I'm actively tracking Chainlink on lower time frames, because out of every little fractal that we get a potential reversal at horizontal levels of point of interest, let's put it that way, we might get a reversal at any moment. And I know it's a little bit early here on Chainlink, given the fact that we might hunt that trendline liquidity. But if we use Bitcoin and ETH as an example of what could happen, guys, this trend line might be respected. And it doesn't have to. The price doesn't have to come down in sweet blows. So in the meantime, you got to ask yourself this. Are you going to trade this structure? If we come down, okay, and we make a higher low right here, what are you going to do? That's the decision time. If we come down and make a higher low and go passively right into this level, or even come down for a dip, forget if it's rounded or not. Come down for a dip, what are you going to do? If we get a nice sign of absorption, we already potentially have some divergence right here. Let's take a look here on the 4-hour. Look, we've already gotten overbought. That's a big problem. We already look at the momentum's already overbought. Volatility is already pushing down, which is okay. So we might get a full reset and stay overbought. Guys, that would be bullish. I'm starting to think that we might hold this level. This level might hold because of that. Volatility is already pushing down, guys. We're almost oversold already. We got the green expansion in the background. Let me just kind of make this bigger. By the way, guys, if you want to know more about this indicator, it's called Synergy Signal. I got links in the description. It's a custom indicator. As you can see, this expansion is still coming up. Why are you going to interrupt it? Let it finish. I got lots of confluence telling me green. Let's get going. This volatility line is coming down and getting oversold. But look at the price. I'm just going to show you the price. What did it really do? Rolled over a little bit. Is it enough? Do we get a full reset with a minor retracement and then a continuation? Is that possible? Or can we, at worst case scenario, fill the lower time frame imbalance? Let's get maybe onto the 1-hour. This little imbalance that we got here, fill it up, come down to these levels, right around 1350. Confirm this as a backtest confirmation, right? And get that rounded passive accumulation range right into here and call it a day, right? What are you going to do about it if it does this? Guys, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be getting into a nice position, a nice 20x position on Chainlink and looking for an expansion to the upside, even in the short term. So it's about looking at the different structures. This structure is playable. This structure right here, let me just zoom out. Let me get the oscillators out of the way. By the way, as we're here, look at the daily time frame, guys. EMA is facing up, green histogram bars to the upside, multiple drives of class A bullish divergence here. Nice rounded pivot to the upside. This looks bullish, guys. I don't know what else to say. This looks great. It's the beginning, but it looks great. Okay, so we're on the right track here. So again, market structure could shift here, right into here, right, and go up for a higher high. Similar to what happens here, similar to what happens here. Even if it's for a bounce, it's all good, guys. Get in on the bounce, trail up the stop loss, at minimum put yourself at break even, because ultimately if we hit this level, this range right here, that's where your first TP goes. And then after that, we start looking for an expansion through this imbalance and we get to the next order block. And by that time, once we get here, we might see momentum, which is the purple line, overbought. I want you to see what happens when the purple line gets overbought. Look here, reset, full reset of volatility, and then overbought again, right? Lower high, higher high. That's class A bearish divergence. Follow through. We're doing it in the reverse right now. We're looking for the confirmations in oversold conditions, right? Where we can get a confirmation of a reversal, a higher low, and then give me a higher high, and let's get a reversal. TP1, TP2, right into this order block. And then at that point, you might want to leave some to see if we actually start really cranking. Because really, if we get the reversals that we do usually get in this range, you want to have a position. Now, of course, that's the bullish case. And I already kind of mentioned the bearish case, right? The bearish case is that we start hunting that trend line liquidity and we come down to $8. So the final note here on what I'm trying to say is you got to be prepared for both case scenarios. Chainlink is at critical moments, but it's not at the most critical, right? It is critical based on this current structure, but the truth is we can break structure, make a lower low, and come down to this level that we've been at before, at max pain levels. So what I would be doing, guys, is looking at, I want to deploy 50% of my capital here with a stop loss underneath these bottoms right here. If it breaks down, we're hunting trendline liquidity. Fine. Then I would say after that, you stop yourself out. You still have 50% and you still stopped yourself up, preserving some of that capital. Get in here, right around this level. If in between we get a market structure that's worthy of getting into a setup, we take it. But we need the evidence. We need all the details, all the data we need in order to get risk on. Right now is not bad. Okay, right into this level. Wait for a proper market structure that suggests a change of character. We get in, put our stop loss, and let's see how high we go. Guys, that's all we could really do at the current moment. Lots of altcoins right now are looking great. There's a bit of a retracement as I speak, but we got to be prepared. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.